Hey guys, Judy here, and welcome to Digital Outlook. Today we have another special guest, Alan Staples with Staple Crew, and it's fun for me to be on this side of the interview camera because usually Alan is interviewing David and I different times throughout the years, and so this is a really special treat for me, Alan, to have you on our show. Welcome to Digital Outlook.
Thanks, Judy, and it's a pleasure to be here. And I can't wait. I'm excited about this whole thing. It's unique, and I'm looking forward to doing it with you.
Yeah, I'm excited too. So without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and get started. Just to remind everyone, I'm asking everyone the same exact questions to get their personal opinions so that you all can make informed decisions, and it will just kind of help you as the bull run comes. You'll be able to just see what everyone's thinking in their lives and what their thoughts are. So, okay, Alan, we're going to start with all the good news, the SEC case over, pensions are going into crypto, different uh, people are onboarding with Ripple. Why hasn't XRP pumped yet, in your opinion?
I really think it's a liquidity issue, and I like to discuss this about with my viewers as well. We get impatient at times because we purchase it. Sometimes it's such a cheap price that we think to ourselves, "Well, we got it at 50 cents, and it's only $3." It's like that's astronomical returns for most things that we purchase in our lifetime. So we get a little complacent when it stays at one number for a while. And then we start assuming that there's something wrong or the product that I bought that isn't valid or doesn't have a valid or valid any kind of reason going forward to use it. But what I want everybody to understand is the liquidity makes everything easy. In other words, if you don't have a lot of people with spare cash in their wallet, you're not going to have that. People aren't going to, they're going to invest in more solid, sound things. They're not going to speculate. And let's be honest with ourselves, this is still speculation, in particular XRP or some of the other coins, because it's like, well, it's not Bitcoin, it's not Ethereum, it's not the top two. And oh, that looks a little risky to me. But the beauty is with M2 money supply on the increase, the number one most correlated item on the face of the planet to
Mhm.
M2 money supply is crypto. When the M2 does go up, nothing correlates. It's over 80% correlation between that number go up and crypto number go up. Doesn't affect gold that way. It doesn't affect the
Mhm.
S&P 500. It actually really matters in crypto, and it's on the upswing. And it's been on the upswing for about 6 months, but it hasn't reached that parabolic steep point yet. And when it does, we're typically a month to as much as 90 days behind that, but it traces it exactly. And we're headed there now. So be patient as usual. And remember, you've been blessed with what, 6x in the last 6, 8 months. So count your blessings to some degree. Yeah.
Exactly. Even at these prices now, when people hear that you bought XRP, even if you bought it at the peak right now at $3 and something, they're going to shake their head. It's like someone saying, "You bought Bitcoin at $20," but when they were buying it at
Right.
20, they're like, "Oh man, it was pennies before."
Yeah.
So I agree. I agree with that sentiment. So my next question now, and November 25th, major milestones are happening. We just had the SEC case finally over, which we're so happy about. And in July, the Fed wire fully was transitioning. And in November, we have two pretty major things. The final deadline to discontinue currency in the SWIFT system the way that it is right now. And also the banks and institutions need to upgrade. So my question is, could that be a catalyst for price appreciation in November and beyond?
Yes, of course, it could be. And again, we have to remember that's kind of a date to when they have to start implementing. It doesn't mean they're going to flip a light switch and then everybody's going to start immediately using this. But the two or three catalysts that you just explained right there are really key in this fall. I think what I was talking about with my first answer, that is
Mhm.
coming, all that liquidity, we're going to follow it. And I think the timing is sort of a triple play with, and I'm a trader for many years, so we call it triple witching when all the futures markets and everything all happens at once. It can be exponential growth.
Mm.
We could have that happen. Typically, when big government agencies create, such as what you're talking about, an ISO, and it being a mandatory date, everybody doesn't necessarily flip a switch and say, "Well, I've got to have that yesterday. What's
Mhm.
going on?" It could do that. In this man's opinion, there's nothing slower than banking adoption, and they're going to do it at their own pace and at their own rate. And unfortunately, we want to see it happen fast, but do I think it's massive news? No. What I think is going to be massive news for, in particular, XRP, well, I would say a few of them, but XRP in particular. I think when we're going to have that absolute combination of liquidity, regulation, laws, adoption, bigger than all of that is your chat GPT moment. The moment in which everybody says, my banker told me that we're using XRP. Did you know that it's on XRPL? Did you know this is on there? Did you know that's on there?
Mhm.
Do you have any of this? How come it went from $3 to $15? What's going on over there? And
Mhm.
the other big moment for me really is going to be, because we're creatures of habit, right? So we look at the market and we say, oh, wow, well, this one's 120,000, this one's 4,000, and this one over here, B&B is $500. Oh, look at XRP was $3. Now it's $5. I think not just the public, but this is a big category as well. All of the people in crypto that either for one reason or another didn't own XRP. And they're looking at it, they're going, I can't deny this anymore. It's the top three coins, top four coin. I've got to have this thing. And
Mhm.
it's still cheap. I think I'm going to buy in and even if I so I think that's going to be our big moment. That'll be, I like to call it the chat GPT moment, where everybody's going to say, I've got to own XRP, period, despite
Yay.
what I believe in. Yeah.
Yes. Yay, I hope so. And on
Sorry
that
for
line, oh, that's okay.
that. Sorry about that.
That's okay. That's okay. We're just having a chat. It's all good. Along those lines,
Yeah.
you had mentioned that you have been a trader for a long time. So, do you base your projections on fundamentals only, or do you do the cycles and charts? Does that play a role as well? Because I know people who do charts only, their projections are a lot smaller for this bull run versus the people who believe in fundamentals, their prices are much higher. What are your thoughts on that?
I like all three. I like, and I'm going to fundamentals, technical analysis, but really I like adoption. The network adoption is really big. When there's enough people in social media and when there's enough people, because investing was different back when I was a stockbroker in 1986
Mm-hmm.
when I started. So I'm a bit older than most people watching this, maybe. But
Me
back
too.
then, you had to use TA in
Mm-hmm.
analysis. You had to, really. But today, what's more important than anything else is adoption.
Okay.
And the network effect, we learn the network effect of the coins, such as, well, beyond coins. When all the people started using Amazon, everybody used Amazon.
Mm-hmm.
When we reach that network effect and that S curve, when we hit that 10 to 15%, it's bigger than any technical analysis. It's just going to be everybody, like I was mentioning in the last answer, everybody's going to have to own it. It's like
Mm-hmm.
when that television was 15% of the households got it, they got it. And
Yes.
then they're going to look at what coins do I own, which ones are important. And that's where the family of XRP really comes in. We've done our due diligence. We know the field we're in. We know the people that are adopting it. We know the system that's behind it. And
Mm-hmm.
all of that spells we're in the right coin. We just need that network effect. So I look at social media a lot. Obviously, I'm on social media, but I look at that and the inevitability of AI saying, why are you putting your money over here in these other meme coins?
Mm-hmm.
No, Grok 5 or whatever's going to tell us, no, 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 no. You need to own this coin because it's moving all the money and the assets around the world.
Mm-hmm.
Must own it.
And
So I
so,
don't look at trading or at TA as much as most
mhm.
people. Yeah.
So if you look at, when you look at the charts, is the price lower than if you look at fundamentals for this next bull run?
Yes.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, it
That's good.
is. I could tell you, unless is the next question, I would tell you my when we were at 50 cents, I said we are going to be at $15 in the middle of this bull run.
Okay.
So then the reason why I use that is because I'm a big student of Elliott wave, and
Mm-hmm.
Elliott wave somewhere around 33x was exactly what the move was in 17. So you're probably going to duplicate that. And that's
Okay.
technical analysis on the sense that Elliot was a student of waves and public adoption. And he puts that into his data. And he says, well, if it did it that way last time, it's going to do it this way this time. So
Mm-hmm.
at 50 cents, at 33x, you're looking at 15, $16. Yeah.
And do you believe that's the peak for this time? Or do you believe, this is kind of off question, I'll hope I remember it for everybody that I talk to. But so if you're looking at the Elliott wave, it says maybe 15. The technical analysis says about 15 for this bull run. Do you believe it could go up to 15, retrace, and then down the road when there's more adoption in less than the 4-year cycle, then shoot up to be greater numbers? Or do you think it's a 4-year cycle and we have to wait it out?
I think the 4-year cycle is kind of run its course to some degree. It will be significant, but that really came to be with mining in Bitcoin. And I think there's so much less mining of Bitcoin than there used to be, as far as numbers into the market, that I think it's less significant than it used to be. That's my opinion.
Okay.
So, no, do I think 15 is the top? No, I just think it's a solid number that I can pretty much stick a flag in the ground and say, I think we're going to get there. I'm 95%, sure we can meet that mark. As to your question is whether or not it'll retrace, of course, all markets do. But you'll understand when the market's going to retrace is because it's the old UPS driver indicator. He's going to tell you that you need to run out and buy XRP immediately. So when he tells you that, or when the market gets frothy, you can tell because it gets to that people are leveraging themselves. They're 3x and 5x and trying to get bigger gains because they have to catch up. You and I have been DCA for 5-10 years. We've
Right.
got a nice bag. Well, they
Yeah.
have to start doing multiples to try and catch
Mhm.
up with us. And that gets risky. Also, that's typically when you get that parabolic move where it goes straight up. That's leverage. And
Okay.
leverage never lasts.
Mm,
Everyone thinks, oh, it's just going to go straight up forever. And then that's when you know to get out. Yeah.
mm-hmm.
It's one of
That's
my
right. That
favorite
leads me,
indicators.
that's good, Alan, because that leads me right into the next question. Many XRP holders are not sophisticated investors, yet comments on our page, maybe you get it too on our channel, is I'm never selling till it's either at this price, much higher than what we're talking about right now, or they're not going to sell at all. What cautions would you give about selling based on the goals achieved or the price? So do you encourage your people, not financial advice, but do you encourage people to look at the price or their goals, or how do you do it? Because a lot of people are bent on holding, thinking it's going to go to these really high prices, and they might miss out if it has a retrace, and then there's a little bit of a bear market, which will be my next question. But what are your thoughts on that in general?
This is one we all get, right? We get this one all the time, and it's become a real
Yes.
battle. I think a lot of this, okay, I have two thoughts. Number
Okay.
one is if you have, it depends on where you're at in life
Hmm.
also, but that's a whole other factor that I won't even throw in there.
Yeah.
But if we have the ETFs coming, and we have the ability to earn monthly income from our coins through the DEX and the rest of these markets. These automated market makers are real deal. This is what AI is bringing to all of us. And you're going to be able to earn whatever it is, 2, 3, 4% a month on your money. Well, you don't need a whole lot of coins, and particularly if the coin goes up 10 or $15, and then you're in a whole different bracket.
Right.
Then it makes more sense to hang on to your coins long term and maybe even generationally. Okay. that's a little different game than we've been playing with. Oh, this is a get rich quick program that we've been dealing with the last few years.
Yeah.
Now, the other thing that I'm a little it bothered doesn't bother me. It I want people to understand this math too. This is the other side of that same argument. If you've got 10,000 coins, okay, and if selling 5,000 of those coins, or even 6,000, or I'll say even 9,000 of those coins, makes a significant change to you and your family and your life. Now, that number, you could put any number you want in
Right.
there. Okay. If that number makes a big difference in your life and your age bracket and the way you're going to live your life, you should do that. If that's why you got in this game, to stick to your
Mhm.
plan. Okay. Now, on the other hand, the reason why I say that is this. If you believe, and most of us do, if you think that thing is going to, I don't know, $1,000 a coin, well, how many thousands of them do you really need? If that's what your real concept is, and your belief is, oh, I think it's going to $1,000, Alan, I think it's going to be a $10,000 coin one day. Okay, well, you only need 1,000 of those for 10 million. I'm just
That's
saying.
good.
It's a it's one of those ways to look at it like, well, I got to hold all my bag the whole time. Well, not if you're one of the people that says that in the hold your bag the whole time are the people that are telling me it's going to be tens of thousands of dollars in the future. Well, then it doesn't take that many coins. Just think about this. If you had 1,000 Bitcoin right now, you got to remember, I've been in this market since 16. I've seen millionaires made, and then most of those people are broke now. So if they had held on to 100 Bitcoin, look at where they'd be today.
Right.
So that's a good strategy to look at. Those are the
That's
two ways I look at that question.
That's good. I like that, Ellen. I like that a lot. Okay, so many viewers believe that XRP will never retrace into a bear market. Yet all investments have ebbs and flows. There has never been one bubble pump that has not had a retrace. Through, even though there's been adoption, Amazon, the internet, they've all had big booms, but they've also, come down as well. Not forever, but they do come down. Can you speak to that sentiment that XRP is just going to go straight up? That's what we're hearing. Are people who are not sophisticated investors. They've been in probably the digital asset for a year or two at the most. And they're
Yeah,
saying, it's going to be a straight arrow up. It's never coming down. You don't know what you're talking about. They say to us on our channel. So what do you say about that? That when it goes up, is it going to come down?
sure. Question is to what ratio, what
Exactly.
percentage? Is it going to drop the way it did in the past? I don't think so. No. I think let's remember it's not the Lone Ranger either. There's
Right.
I like to call them the top 10 coins.
Mm-hmm.
They're all going to do different tech that they're not doing today.
Mm-hmm.
Everything in the crypto market up till today has been speculation, not utility. When the utility comes in, you're going to have less volatility. And that volatility is going to be because I have to use this product. This product is necessary for my lifestyle or
Right.
my banking institution or whatever it may be. So can we have 25 to 35, 50% drawdowns? Of course we could. And I believe that would be healthy, by the way. That's
Right.
a healthy market, a market that just keeps, working its way up month after month after month. The problem with being in that boat is you've been going up for it's sort of like where Wall Street is today. The stocks are at the top and they've been at the top for so long. It's like after a while you start going, well, it can't keep going up forever, right? So
Mm-hmm.
then you find yourself in that position of like, well, now I'm worried. You're at an all-time high and you're still worried about your trade because it's been going up so far, so
Mm-hmm.
long. My I tell people this, and new traders, they don't get this, but this is really good information. The hardest thing you'll ever do in trading is selling.
Mm-hmm.
Buying coins is easy.
Yep.
DCA, no problem.
That's
Anybody can
good.
handle that. But when you sell something and it goes up or down, you just look like a fool sometimes. And it's like, well, you got to remember that's not the top and that's never the bottom. You're just in the middle of some vast curve that you're on. So don't beat yourself up when you sell it and it goes up further. You make the conscious decision that, you know what? I'm okay with selling this. This money means a lot to me and my family. It's going to
Mhm.
change my lifestyle and I'm going to take it and I'm not going to look back and second guess myself. So,
Mhm.
drawdowns are going to happen. Yes, is the answer to that question.
That's good because I think some people I know in the last bull market, they watched it go all the way up and they're like, it's going to go higher, it's going to go higher. And then it went down and they could have maybe paid off their college debt or they could have their student loans, they could have paid off their mortgage, which in and of itself would be a life-changing event if you could pay off your mortgage. And even if it did go down or up, you still have more and it will accumulate. But if it goes down, then you can just buy back in because you don't have a mortgage payment. So you can just dollar cost average a bigger amount now. And so I think that that's really good wisdom, Alan. I like that a lot because that's very practical. And when it keeps going up in an arrow straight up, that's called a bubble. I mean,
Yeah, I've been
that's
in a
called
few
a
of
bubble,
those.
and bubbles pop. You
Yeah,
know, a balloon can only go so big, and then it pops. So yeah, that's
but the staircase will always go up in
yes,
crypto. Well, I
yes,
don't know about always, probably in
but
our lifetime.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's good. Okay, so my next question is, many people from the last bull run became wealthy as they watched their portfolio soar and didn't sell, then unfortunately watched it retrace to either, or they watched it to retrace. They either sold at the bottom or they sell due to financial hardship. And so my question is, you touched on this already pretty much, but that if they have goals, and I guess what I'm trying to say is the economy is at a teeter totter right now. Some people say it's really great. Economists are saying it's not good. There's a lot of people investing in gold to protect as a hedge of protection. And I'm just what I'm wanting to get you to say or talk about is, you know, a lot of people they stay in so long thinking I'm going to wait for that magical number, and then if they lost their job or if the economy does go down or something does happen, then they're ending up selling at the bottom because they're desperate for money, they need to make their mortgage payment, they need to do this and that. So do you believe that that people need to be aware that there are going to be ups and downs, which you pretty much touched on, and that we need to, you know, just be mindful of that with your goals and your, you know, finances.
I do. You need to look, if this was easy, everybody would be rich,
Exactly.
right? I mean, this is complicated and you have to be patient and you have to you have to know what you're doing. But on
Mhm.
the other hand, it's a learning curve. So the more bulls and bears you go through, the better at this whole thing you get.
And the
I want to go back to
emotions,
what I was,
because there's emotions, right? Like the emotions
yeah,
get you. You're right.
very
Selling is
much
the
so.
hardest because you don't want to make a
It
mistake. You
is.
think, is this the top? No, can't be the top. And then when it goes down,
Right.
then you're panic selling. And yeah, it's
Right.
very emotional
But
roller coaster.
when it, one of my, I just said this earlier in the video, but it bears repeat. When we can make money off the coins we have in our wallet, which is happening now and occurring now, and you don't have to take them off your wallet and you can earn monthly income from them, that's a whole new ball game that's coming to you and I because Wall Street's been playing that game for a very long time.
Mhm.
But in a different way, we're going to even make more money than stocks could ever do with that.
Right.
And I could get even into covered calls on options and whatnot, but I won't. But there's a lot going on that you can make money with your money. Sorry, with your XRP, but in particular, but your any one of these coins that has that liquidity market attached to a banking system, which we know we
Mhm.
are, not to mention, Hidden Road and everything else that XRP and Ripple has going for it, all of those things, why would they not want to offer those products? Ripple owns Hidden Road. Why wouldn't they want to open that $3 trillion of liquidity up to the people who are faithful owners of the XRP and they've been through the thick and thin of this whole thing, they're going to offer these people returns on those coins because they want you to keep these coins. They don't want them just bouncing and dumping them in the market. That is something that you have to think about too. It's going to
Mm-hmm.
be very important to decide in the future, what is my strategy on holding coins? How much do they earn me? How much is the cash on the barrelhead at the moment worth to me? And how do I deploy it? The hardest part about that answer is this: what are you going to do with the money? And you need to have a plan. And if you
Yep.
don't have a plan, you just have fiat in the bank. And it's like, don't do that. That's why you got into crypto, was not to do that.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, I think I answered the question again.
Yeah,
I
no,
hope.
that was
But
good. I'm glad you expounded on it. Um, Another question that we get often is how would you tell someone how? Okay, let me rephrase it. How does a person determine their own risk tolerance? Like, what questions should they ask themselves? Which is kind of along the same thing that we're doing, but basically it has to do with risk tolerance. How high or how low when they want to sell? How do you like? What questions would you tell someone if they said, "I don't know what my risk tolerance is. I've never been in this market before. I don't know." Um, how to determine that. Is there a special question you might ask them or have them ask themselves? Maybe that's
well,
even
one of my favorite things to say is, okay, so every dollar that I've had DCA'd into XRP in the last 5 years is up somewhere around 6 times. So should I have kept the money in the bank? Well, clearly not,
right.
right? 10 years ago, you could buy a Bitcoin for $1.
I know.
You 120,000x a dollar, that dollar is in the bank, and this
Mm-hmm.
one's worth 120,000, that same dollar. Well, clearly you don't want to be in the bank. So where are you going to put your money? Well, real estate sometimes is a good idea.
Mm-hmm.
I think bonds are in a lot of trouble. Real estate or stock market's topped out. I mean, I don't know. I don't really think too highly of the stock market right now. There's some good stocks, but gold is a great option. I'm more of a
Mm-hmm.
silver guy myself, but you know, it's catching up. But I think crypto is going to surpass
Right.
precious metals in return. So
Mm-hmm. Good.
you just have to determine: am I at risk? Have I risked too much of my capital in the crypto market? Well, nobody can say that in XRP in the last 6 months. You at least five extra money in
Exactly.
a bank.
Yeah.
What is your money going to be worth 5 years from now in the bank?
Mm-hmm.
So I guess my risk allocation means how much spendable cash, how much cash. If your expenses are 10 grand a month and you make 15 grand a month, the other five should be doing what?
Mm-hmm.
Crypto? That's my answer.
Good. I like it. Um, so I kind of touched on this before, but this is my last question before it's a free for all, and you can talk about whatever you want if we haven't touched it. Many economists are predicting an economic crash due to the dollar demise. It appears that all the markets are manipulated, including the one that we're in, because the price should probably be a lot higher because of all the things. But anyway, how can people protect themselves? And I think you touched on it. Just basically, you said crypto, gold or silver, real estate, things like that. I mean, is there anything else you could add to that to speak into it? Do you believe the economy is going to crash? Maybe that's my question I should ask.
No.
Okay. And why not?
Oh, well, could be a long show now. First of all, let me just say this. I've been in the doom and gloom group for 25 years,
Mm-hmm.
and I've been wrong for 25 years. So I'm not any longer. And I more so than anything else, traditional business models no longer work in today's system because of tech, because of AI, because of a lot of things. Things are simply becoming cheaper. Brick and mortar is in a lot of trouble, as we all know. If you're an
Mm-hmm.
accountant or an attorney, your job's in jeopardy. Now, a lot of people would say, okay, well, that's going to be the end of a lot of employment. Yeah,
Right,
that's
right.
probably true. However, that's the way, that's how you keep looking in the past. If you're always looking at what could go wrong with the current dollar and it could collapse and it's going to be worthless. I know, I've been in that boat my whole life. Trust me.
Mm-hmm.
As an economist, that's really what I looked at for the longest time. The difference is in today's world, money doesn't cost what it once did. Okay, let me rephrase that. Businesses to succeed needed a loan back then. Okay. I'm a man that loves ICOs. I know a lot of people will think they're a four-letter word. I don't. There's something brilliant about a business plan, a strategy of three geeks in their mom's basement who come up with software who revolutionize something and they can put it out there on an initial coin offering and they can say, look, we're these tech guys. We came from Ethereum or we came from Ripple or we came from this and we decided this new idea is this great concept. Invest with us. That's happening now everywhere. I know you go to the shows like I do. I went to the Bitcoin show and the XRP show, and the young talent that is absolutely blowing this market up with
Yep.
their innovation, those people are creating the new tomorrow. If you're looking at business in the financial structure through the previous 50 years, you see doom and gloom. If you
Right.
see what the people I meet and the people I talk to, they're solving all those problems that would have collapsed the previous regime or whatever you want to call it. So
Mm-hmm.
when I get to work with these people and when I hear their innovation, every generation has it and it gets a little better every year as far as tech goes. What has this man understood more than anything else? The biggest lesson that I've learned in the last 10 years of my life: innovation is deflationary, it is not inflationary. And the fact that they've printed as much money as they printed and have not been able to collapse fiat money is astounding to me. And the only way that can occur, in an economist's mind, is that technologies and the speed and the ease of money and the use of money is accelerating at such a fast rate, they couldn't even print enough to make it go up. Now, they did 2, 3 years ago, but if you look at the innovation that's coming into the world today, we're talking about getting rid of taxation. We're not talking about taxation paying for the debt any longer.
Mm-hmm.
This is going to happen through skimming little bits and pieces off each transaction on crypto, and it's going to pay the debt back. I'm not saying that we're going to pay that debt back because that's almost ridiculous at this point. That's not
Right.
what I'm saying. What I'm saying is we can innovate our way out of this, and that's pretty much what Scott Bessent's talking about every day. He's like, "Look, we can do this. We can pull this off, and the whole world's going to help us do that." Tariffs and the rest, that'll get me into a whole different conversation. So no, I'm one of the few people on YouTube that used to be a doom and gloomer who's like, it doesn't make sense to me anymore, but I get a lot of flack for it. But yeah,
Okay, you beat to a different drum, Alan. It's okay. It's all good. I wanted to
I
throw in a
do.
bonus question. I wanted to throw in a bonus question, but before I have to say, if you guys are enjoying these interviews and you enjoy our channel, please hit the subscribe and the like button. Leave me a comment down below. Tell me what your thoughts are for future interview questions. I'm really trying to get David up to 100,000. He wants that YouTube plaque. So if you all can help us, if you're
Boy,
not subscribed, hit the notification bell as well, because David will be sending out notifications if there's any big news that happens. But I wanted to ask the $1,000,000 question now. So Alan, what is your, not financial advice, but personal prediction for the price of XRP within the next, let's say, 6 to 9 months?
um, before year's end, I would say somewhere between $15 and $20,
Okay.
somewhere in there.
Okay, good.
That's my guess.
Thank you.
But
That's what
I'm
everyone
wrong a
wants to
lot.
hear.
I'm
They want to
wrong a
hear
lot, and
10,000, but that's okay. If it's this is the real thing, I think that it will help
yeah,
people to be able to determine, like you said throughout the interview, what your goals are, how you want to utilize your money, what is your personal things that you need to take care of. I think that's really good. So 10 to 20, you
yeah,
said, between now and 6 to 9 months.
yeah.
Okay, good.
Yeah, I
Now,
think it'll at least hit 15.
okay.
I'd say that's my Elliott wave theory on it anyway.
Okay, that's wonderful. And is there anything else that you'd like to talk about that I didn't discuss or that you'd like to throw out for our audience just as a freebie? Any
Well, I don't
final
know. How long is the show? I can go on for days, as you know.
I know. And when
Um,
we're
I
together, all of us YouTubers, we all can talk and just chat it up. If I had coffee, we'd
yeah,
probably sit and talk for 2 more hours. But anyway, any
right,
final
yeah.
thoughts or what you want to say, Alan? Go for it.
Um, on an optimistic level, let me just say that I'm not a cheerleader. I'm not a guy who just, hope and dreams and the rest of it. Just like you and Dave and many other people, the amount of documents that I read and the
Hmm.
material that comes across my table that people send to me from all avenues of the face of this planet, and that people, I'm doing a big business deal with a bunch of people right now, and it's totally non-related to crypto. And their exact question to me was, well, we see a problem. And I say, okay, what's your big problem? And they're like, well, it needs to be tokenized. And the phone's quiet because they just think I'm just going to hang up at that point. And then they're like, and it has to be ISO compliant. And now I want to preface this. This is through a banking financial institution that is quite large. And they're telling me this as if I'm just going to go, oh, wow, I don't know what any of that is. And I'm done for. And I'm in a lot of trouble. Oh, how do I fix that? I was like, okay, I can have that done in, I don't know, 10 business days.
I
And
got
they're
you.
like, oh, you know what I'm talking. They're like, you know what I'm talking about? I'm like, yeah. They're like, how do you know what that means? And I'm like, well, it's coming, of course. And da 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 da. I've set up a rapport with this person in the banking institution, and now we talk, communicate, and he tells me all these secrets about what's going on in a banking institution that I won't talk about. And that's the stuff that Dave and I come across. We
Yeah.
know what's coming. It's not if. It's not like if everybody's going to have a color TV. Everybody's going to have one of these things. And you're in the spot. And I know that sounds like hopium. And I know that sounds like I'm just some dreamer or some optimist and, get rich quick guy. That's never been who I am. It's not
Hmm.
who I am today.
Right.
I'm in this space because I see the difference it's going to make in your kids' lives. And
Hmm.
that's what's more important than that. There's nothing more important. There's okay, if somebody put something on my desk with a better opportunity than XRP, I'll read it. I read it. I mean, I own 10 other coins,
Yeah.
but nothing comes across my desk like all the information on XRP.
Hmm.
So with that, I'd like to say, don't give up. Please don't give up because your kids and your grandkids are not going to remember the YouTube channel or Dave or Alan or Judy
Hmm.
or Brent. They're going to remember that you bought it and you made a difference and you stuck your neck out and you did this and you made a generational change in your family's life. That to me is bigger than money, way bigger than money. So it's
Yeah.
a big deal, and we're so blessed to have this. And
Hmm.
it's so great to share it with all of you. I mean, every time, well, every time we go to these shows, it's like people just treat you like gold. And I don't mean just YouTube channels. I mean everybody is like a
Hmm.
family
They
feel
do.
to everything, and you're part of this. And I
Yeah.
don't know. I never forget that ever.
Hmm.
And I wake up blessed every single day because of
Hmm.
crypto and the community that we built together.
I agree. I agree. I tell people that being part of the XRP community is better than a family reunion or even sometimes going to church because we're all like-minded. We're not in competition. We're all hoping for the
True.
same thing. We all want the same thing. And it's just, we brought our son, Caleb, who's going to be joining us and, he's working on things in the background right now, but I told him, when you go to XRP, I know you don't know these people that we know, but you will leave with friends. You will leave with camaraderie and encouragement. And he said, it was like a family reunion, like a cousin you never knew you had, but you were connected somehow. And I agree with you. It is such a blessing to be in this space. And the people that we've met and people like you, Alan and Brent, like you guys are quality people. And we're so excited to partner with you guys when we do XRP events and things that are coming in the future with you. And it's just been a great pleasure to have you, Alan. I'm so blessed to know you and Elizabeth and Brent. And I just bless you guys and wish you guys all the best. And I know we'll be talking again probably later in the week. But thank you so much for coming on our channel and giving us your honest perspective. And I think it will help a lot of people. I do.
Thanks, sure. Thanks so much for having me, and say hello to Dave and Caleb for me, so we can we're gonna meet down in Florida. So
Yes, we
we'll talk about
are.
that some other time. But
Yes,
we're
we
gonna be down
will.
there together. So it's gonna be
We
a lot of
will.
fun.
Yes, it
Yeah.
will. Well, thank you, Alan, for your time. Have a wonderful day and be blessed. Bye.
Bye. Thank you.